And the record button is really for training purposes. It's not going to be to distribute out to the public. Esther Grisham is a coach, and so we've actually done this kind of work together before. So I'm really recording this for her benefit. So anything that we talk about in here won't be shared outside of out of this group. So reset mindset it's really based around something that I talk about in my book, Compose Your Soul. It's really about your natural algorithm. And it starts with the very basics of who you are. So we are going to be doing some deep dives on what your natural algorithm really looks like. We're going to talk about values. Some of us we've done work around values, but it's just something that we can't do without. We make decisions every day, and our decisions are based on what we value. We are going to dig into inner critics and those inner scripts. We did spend some time in our transformation work that we were doing. We talked about inner scripts. We're going to deal with emotional triggers. You're going to get tools. We're going to talk about boundaries, self-defeating toxicity, overwhelm, stress, your inner executive committee and confidence, and then ahas and insights. So that's what this series is going to look like. So I want to start off, let me stop that for just a second. I'd like to start off with us doing something that we might take for granted and we do every day. So I would love for you to just introduce yourself. Okay, how would you normally introduce yourself? And I'll get Esther to kick us off. Esther, introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Esther Grisham. I recently left my employment of 30 years as a director in business development. I'm from Central Indiana, grew up, born and raised there, and as Angie said, I'm looking forward to working on the mindset work that we all do. It's fabulous stuff. So nice to meet everyone.
All right, very good. Michelle.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle Callan, and I'm the founder of Equitable HR Consulting. And I've been in the HR world for about 30 years or so, and really excited to be here today. I'm located here in Central Indiana today in Columbus. So nice to meet you.
Very good. Lydia.
I moved in here so that you wouldn't hear the TV in the background. Promise is on. I'm Lydia, and I am a mom to one little boy. He'll be 3 in July. Married to my best friend, and I left my job as a dietitian after I had Boaz, and I'm thankful to be able to be doing something more creative and something I'm more bent towards, I think. So I do photography now for children.
All right, very good. Thank you. Rachel.
So my name is Rachel Kuppenheber, and I am a virtual VIP member, basically because I live in Pennsylvania. So it's a little hard to be there in person, but I love coming out to the VIP center when I get a chance. I am on a journey of self-discovery and called to be an entrepreneur. I love helping people understand their finances and living a better financial life.
All right, very good. Amanda.
Hi, my name is Amanda Gleason, and I am an HR consultant. My business is People First HR, and I've been in business for myself for about 7 years, been in the HR space for 15. Prior to that, I was an administrative assistant for about 10 years. So that gave me a good foundation for what I do in HR now. And I'm also part of the VIP Center team. So loving what I do.
All right, thank you. And we love you too. All right, Angie.
She has a chat on that she can't talk,
Yeah.
but
All right, no
Yeah.
problem. Okay, Melissa.
Hi, my name is Melissa, and I'm a health coach, and I help busy working moms who are struggling to lose weight and want to live a healthier lifestyle. I'm new to the VIP Center, but my experience so far with the calls and being on here with Angie and everybody, it's been amazing, and I'm excited to be here.
All right, very good. So ladies, I want you to think about the introduction that you just made. The introduction how you chose to show up to this group. And my question for you is, how does this really describe you as a human being? So that's a rhetorical question. If you think about our introductions, don't we leave out a lot of important identifying information? We absolutely do. And so when we're living in the world, we have a tendency to live on the surface level to people. The goal of Reset Mindset is to take you deeper, to take you into who you truly are as a person and what's really true about you. And so we're going to start right off the bat with giving you a little bit of thinking time. And you can go to your workbook on this page. Let me share the screen to show you. Yeah, so this is the Get Started page, and you'll see here that we have inventory questions. So for every day that we do this, we are going to have inventory questions that are designed to just take you deeper into who you are. So I want to give you a chance to put some answers to these 4 inventory questions for now. Who are you? And you'll see that if it gets compliment, I am, and then fill in the blank. If you could create a list of job titles for yourself, what titles would be on the list? What is true about you? And what do you always do? So I'm going to give you a whopping 8 minutes to write down some thoughts around these. So fill them out as robustly as you can, okay? And I'll just play some soft music in the background for you while you're doing this.
Dialpad's AI sales has completely transformed how we sell. AI is built right in with life coaching,
Hi, Michelle. We're answering the questions in the workbook. Once you finish, you're welcome to raise your hand to let me know that you're done and you're ready. Okay, Esther's ready. Rachel's ready. Lydia, Amanda is ready. Got about 90 seconds left. This is ready. We got about 30 seconds left. All right. I'm going to stop sharing this here. All right, so for this, we're actually going to stay in the larger group here to share. But what I would like for you to do is just share a few of your answers that you put down for these inventory questions. And Michelle, can you start us off? What did you write?
Are we going through for the question one, who am I? Or who are you?
Yeah, just, I mean, if you give a synopsis of each of the questions and how you responded, that would be great.
Sure. I am a mom, a wife, a Mimi. I am an activist. I am a social justice advocate. I am a woman. I am human. And I am an HR professional.
Okay.
Job titles. Awesome mom. Best Mimi ever. Those are two. But also title Chief Social Justice Advocate, and then attorney at large. What is true about me? I am extremely passionate about my family, about my advocacy work, and my values, sometimes too much. So what do I always do? I always take care of my people, whatever my people is in that situation. I always answer the call, and I always put everyone else before me and my own needs.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Appreciate that. Esther, would you go next?
Sure. So I too am a mom, a wife, a sister, a friend, a dog mom, and I'm also a believer. And I, if I could have some job titles, and this is interesting because I have the benefit of pulling from one that I did 3 years ago. So I didn't look at it before, and I just looked at it as completely different. So I've gone through a complete total transformation in the past three years or so. So, but this one's consistent. A job title would be like implementation expert. But a new one would be truth seeker and discerner in chief.
Yeah.
So those are two other titles that are kind of new on the horizon there. But what's true about me is the same. I'm extremely direct, yet kind. I like to think I'm kind. And I'm extremely loyal, almost to my detriment. And I love to strategize just so I can get into the tactics of getting stuff done. So that's my title of implementation expert. And what do I always do? I always make sure I have time for prayer to spend with God. And also I definitely make good on my commitments to my people. I like that, Michelle. Make sure, you know, do what I say I'm going to do.
Love that. Good stuff. All right, Melissa.
Who am I? I am a child of God. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a friend. Job titles that I could think of: a health coach, a juice enthusiast, a business owner, financial analyst. And then what is true about me? I am a firm believer. My Christian values, they are important to me. I'm analytical, I'm detailed oriented, and I'm an introvert. What do I always do? I always put family first. Prayer is important to me. Sometimes I feel like I have the imposter syndrome. when it comes to business, and I think I overthink some situations in life. So that's it.
All right, thank you for sharing. Rachel.
So I have, I'm a child of God. I'm a writer. I am a published author. I am a creative person. I'm a person who enjoys comfort. I'm a loyal person to those who have gained my trust. If I have job titles, I have author, speaker, water walker, main dishwasher, breadwinner. It's a lot of dishes. I don't really want to get into the truth about me because I was just writing a lot for that, and some of it's personal. So I'm just going to skip that one. But what do? I always try to be there for others, such as friends and family. I always seem to take up offenses on behalf of others. And I always enjoy watching TV and reading a good fiction book.
All right, very good. Amanda.
So the who are you? I just wrote my introduction, so I'm not gonna read that again. So my job titles: HR consultant, wife, mom, Nana, dog mom, business owner, Christian, homemaker, creative budgeter right now, and home builder, which is hopefully soon to be done. Mark that title off on this. What's true about you? I really enjoy helping others in their business. I prefer to be in the background supporting others. I'm trying to figure out what I'm called to do. I'm working really hard to align all the pieces of me. I need a lot of time to recharge after being or giving in groups. And I really love being part of a team that's tasked with executing a common goal.
Very good.
Oh, what do I always do? This one was harder. I'm always dependable. I always try to do the right thing. I'm a person of integrity. I always make time to read every single day. And I always seek righteousness. Like justice is just really important to me. So I like things to be right.
Very good. Thank you. All right, Lydia.
I am a Christian who is a mom, a wife, a business owner, and friend. Job titles: mom, wife, housekeeper, cook, business owner, and I'm sure many other things that I haven't thought of. What is true about me is I am creative, and that's, I think, something I've been learning that I'm more than I realized. But I'm also very analytical, so sometimes those get very weird, and so I'm working through that. I'm very honest, almost probably to a legalistic fault. And so that's something I'm working through as well. And I'm God's daughter, but have to admit, I don't always rest in that. And I think sometimes I give in to fear, though I do fight it, but that is a tendency that I go towards. What do I always do? I'm taking care of my family. I love being creative. I feel like my brain is just like always thinking of things, whether it's decorating the house or it's a new photograph or something like that. It's just always going, for the most part. And I love giving gifts. I am a big gift giver. That is how I show my love. So, I love doing that.
Okay, well, here's my address. It's only temporary, though. I'm not sure where I live. So you better send it quickly.
She
Okay.
can just send it to the VIP center.
That's
She can
right.
just
I know
send it
where
to
you
the
work.
VIPs.
You know where I work. That's right. Thank you, Lydia. Okay, Michelle, hopefully I bought you enough time so that you could get your answers together.
I've got a few. I'm driving, so I'm also in a awkward position of trying to figure that out. But I am a lot of the titles that all you women have given, which is, the mom, the sister, the daughter, executive director. Some things that are true about me are I prefer, speed over just speed. I prefer speed over being slow. I prefer, B plus, A plus work over perfection. Some things I always do is root for the underdog in the situation. And I'm always looking for innovation. So, or searching for the next thing, or improvement would be another one. And so some of those titles, I guess I go back to that one, would be, the brainstormer, the project implementer, the goal setter, would be some other stuff. So I think I hit all the ones.
Yeah, that's good. So what do you always do? Did you answer that one?
I always root for the underdog.
That's right.
And I always look for how to improve.
Okay, gotcha. All right, very good. So here's a question to contemplate. How is the way that you introduce yourself different than how you just described yourself with these inventory questions?
I think for me, I was thinking about this. The way I introduce myself depends on the environment that I'm in. Like when I'm on the VIP calls, I'm gonna point out, oh yeah, I'm here in Pennsylvania, like that's why I'm not at the VIP nights, but when I'm in church, I'm probably going to focus more on something spiritual. Or if I'm in a business meeting, I'm going to focus more on my qualifications, So I think really my introduction of who I am has to deal with which hat am I wearing at that moment, I actually had written a monologue for a Mother's Day tea program, and it was all about the different hats and cups that women use. And, I think they all kind of like get mingled together, but there are certain specific areas of your life. And when you're introducing yourself, I think because you want that commonality with whoever you're with, that's why you focus on that part of that introduction.
Yeah.
And also, I'm not going to share something very deeply personal with somebody that I just ran into at the grocery store.
Right.
I'm not going to throw pearls before swine.
Oh, so, okay. Thanks for sharing that.
That's where that came from. It just kind of popped out.
Oh, all right. So someone else, what's the difference between how you introduced yourself and the way that you described yourself through the inventory questions? Michelle, I see you say the way I introduce myself tends to be more professional and more work related versus personal. I share what I do, not who I am. I share what I do, not who I am. Yes.
Yeah, so I tend to do that more. Like when I introduce myself, I automatically, especially if I don't, obviously I don't know the person, I guess if I'm introducing myself, it's more what I do, not a lot of my personal information.
Anyone else want to share?
I just want to echo what Michelle was saying, is my same approach. I almost always lead with what I do. And that kind of changed for me a little bit when I left corporate, because I realized I started kind of unwinding kind of myself from my identity in my job, but I still feel like I identified with that quite heavily.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's challenging. We're used to interacting with people and customizing how we introduce ourselves based on who they are, what level of relationship we have. But something really important here to think about is all of us have a story. All of us have different, unique circumstances that formed our thoughts and the way that we interact with people. And we have this thing that's, it's what I call your natural algorithm. There's no two people that have the same natural algorithm. And, and you've just been through things that the next person hasn't. And so that your natural algorithm is really about the way that you like to operate your personal system or formula to the way that you show up in life. And basically your natural algorithm, it's your life's playbook. And so some of the things that you're revealing when we started getting into the inventory questions, it goes beyond the job. One reason why women have so much trouble with confidence and emotional turmoil and stress is because they're fighting between what they think that how they have to show up to the world versus who they really are underneath the surface of it all. And when that conflict happens, it's so conducive to just second guessing ourselves, allowing the imposter syndrome to pop up. And you know what? Is the imposter syndrome really working in you? And you see that by just the struggle when you're introducing yourself. When you're introducing yourself, you're not really telling everybody who you really are as a person. And so, that creates like a rub, that creates a conflict within yourself. And so that's one reason why we're doing this reset mindset, is to get us back to who we really are, as not just as women, but as the person who has all of these passions, who holds certain values and has certain beliefs. That coming back to that person is really, really important. And so every week that we do reset mindset, we're going to have a new set of inventory questions, just like the ones that I shared with you. And they are designed for you to really go deeper, even deeper than what we just talked about. It's hard to go super deep when you've got 1 hour and you want to give everybody a chance to share. But I do want to encourage you to really take these questions and take time every day, every week, to say, okay, who am I really? If I were to really just dig down, pull all the pretenses away, pull all of the surface level introductions that I've done and the interactions that I have, who am I as a human being? What is it, what is it that I really do? What is it that's really important to me? That's going to create what we call your natural algorithm story. So there's a story that makes up you. So we're all here because we want some kind of composure, right? We want to show up confident. We want to be decisive. We want to be assertive. We want all of these things. We want to be the women who establish boundaries and do all these things. And it's hard, it's easier said than done to do that. And in order to really get to that place of calm composure where you're feeling confident, that means digging into and really looking deeply at what's really important to us, really being honest about our boundaries and our emotional triggers, what's really behind all of those. And it also means taking a look at some underlying forces that are working in our lives. And some of those underlying forces are our pre-existing conditions. So pre-existing conditions, those are basically the experiences that we've had over the course of our life that really made an impression and just left an imprint in the way that we look at life. So we're going to dig into those pre-existing conditions. written codes are, written code is what I call our brain, it's our brain wiring. We are naturally predisposed to thinking a certain way, and we have certain parts of our brain that are dominant. But we also have an underlying force of what I call our inner executive committee. And some of us have done that work together, right? Where we identify, well, who's sitting at our table? Who is making the decision? What values are showing up? What are the inner critics that are in there trying to get a seat at the table? So I have another question for you. How do you like to operate? If you were to describe how you like to operate, what would you say that description is? And anybody can come off mute and answer that question.
I think for me, I've really discovered that I like operating in choice. Like I like freedom of choice to pick something to do. When I'm told I must do something, it rubs against that sense of freedom that I want. If I'm choosing to do something, I'm more willing to do it completely.
Yeah.
Full.
Yeah. So for you, you like to operate in freedom and autonomy. You want to be the boss of you. You don't want anybody to be telling you what to do, because you really want to control your own destiny and your path.
Can I just get that little clip of this Zoom call?
All right, someone else. How do you like to operate?
I like to operate in an environment where I am challenged, like learning, and it's not stagnant. So it's not that I need the next new thing, but I just have to be able to, flex my mind muscles, I guess. And that's, but like Rachel, I want to do what I want to do too. Like I want to flex my mind muscles when I want to flex my mind muscles and not when someone wants me to.
Right.
So I agree with you, Rachel.
Yeah. And as you were talking, Esther, I was just imagining you like to operate by the green grass method, right? It needs to be flourishing and open for growth, and you want to be able to.
Yeah. I mean, I want options. I want different kind of grass. I want bluegrass. I want this, so I want to see all the different things. So yeah, I want choice too. Yeah.
Good. Someone else. How do you like to operate?
I would say that for me, I like to operate in calm environment. And I think this stems from the last 2 years. It has been a roller coaster for me with so many things, life, work, business, health. And so right now I strive for calm. Ironically, now being an entrepreneur, that is not always the case, but I always, try to get myself back to that place where it's just calm. Even with the kids, being a mother, I always try to get back to that because I know how important it is for me, but also having experienced what I did, that's my zone.
Okay. So the calm zone.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, everybody can stop quietly for Melissa.
No.
Use your indoor voice.
All right, appreciate that. Michelle, I saw that you came off of mute. Did you want to share, Michelle Allen?
Sure. I like to operate with like evolution and adaptability and change. So embracing that in a way that you can kind of roll with the flow and find comfort and ease in that. And I know that's how I like to operate. And I also know that I am a barrier in that operation sometimes But I'm like, but if you told me you're going to do X and you didn't do X, then I don't like to roll with that flow. So I think there's some friction with
Yeah.
my own personality and that desire.
Okay. Yeah, so you like for commitment to be there and loyalty to be there, and the Dwizzy, what I call the Dwizzy D, do what you said you would do. And if that isn't in full existence, then that's a problem for you and you're not operating in the way that you want.
That, yes, I think that's a great way to say it, because then it's harder for me to go with that flow because I was relying on certain things.
Yeah. Michelle, did you got your hand up? Did you have a comment?
I think I like to operate in synergy and what I would call chaotic productivity.
Yeah.
I like that beehive feeling, that buzzing, like lots of synergy and things happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I have found that even though I'm constantly clamoring for peace, I do my best work when I am under pressure and my back is against the wall and there's some crisis looming. That's when my thinking gets super clear and I can come up with really good ideas at that time. But if I'm like, I don't really have any pressure to do anything, it just doesn't come as naturally. So it's interesting because all of us, we have different ways that we like to operate, and it really articulates what I'm sharing with you about your natural algorithm. You know, we have different pre-existing conditions, our brains are wired differently. And we just have, even down to the times of day when we're most functional, right? Like in the morning, I am on fire mentally and conceptually. And then in the afternoon, something happens. It's not a good time for me to talk about ideas. It's like I've had a lobotomy between 2 and 5. There's a lobotomy that's happened. And I'm like, withdrawal, like, I don't know what to do, right? So, so I just want to, I'm going to pull up a little whiteboard here. If you were to, I know you don't know everything about natural algorithm yet, but I like to describe natural algorithm in a drawing. Okay. And here's the drawing. Okay. This is life. I mean, I can say that this is even a day, my natural algorithm for the day. It starts out like this. And then in the morning, there's a sharp rise. And then as I go in the afternoon, it starts to kind of crumble. And like, I go way down here. Right. And then, at bedtime, it's okay, I kind of level out, right? So if you were to draw what you think your natural algorithm looks like, if you could express it in a drawing, what would it look like? I know I didn't ask you to have a piece of paper, but if you have a piece of paper and you want to try this, let's do this just quick thing. Draw a picture of what you think your natural algorithm looks like in a day. And while you're doing it, Okay, anyone want to share? If you can hold it up, we would love to see it. Oh, look at Esther. Tell us about your natural algorithm there.
So I get up early, naturally, 5 a.m., and I'm ready to go until about noon. Okay. And if I
Yeah.
have a call like this, then I'll keep on going. And then between 1 and 4, I pretty much crash. I'm like a zombie, you know,
Yeah.
I'm just like mentally just not there. That's a good time for me to do like laundry or things that require me to not really think, you know, and
Yeah.
but you know, keep me going. And then about 4 or 5 o'clock, I'll get another burst of energy. And then by 8 o'clock, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. So, I mean, I'm ready. I want to get into bed at 9 o'clock and lights out by 10.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Great drawing there. Anybody
And
else?
I've always been that way, even in college. I was the person.
Yeah, I mean, that tells you it is your natural algorithm. That's just the way that you
Yeah.
like to go. You like to flow. Anybody
Yep.
else have one that they want to share? And if you don't, that's absolutely fine. Okay, Michelle, so tell us about yours. Oh, look at all that energy.
Yeah, for a long time and then none. I'm like Esther. I get up, I mean, we have a rule at our house. I'm not allowed to come downstairs for the first 25 minutes because my husband needs to just sit and drink his coffee in quiet. And I hit the floor and I'm like, okay, now let's go over the schedule for the day. So I'm forbidden from going downstairs for the first 20 minutes to half hour. So I pretty much hit the ground. I'm kind of like all over the place. And then by about 9 o'clock, I'm like Zoom. And I go till about noon. And then noon, I have this little crash time. And then, you know, I'll eat, rest, whatever. And then boom, I'm back at it. And from like 3 to 5 and then Zoom. And then by 6 to 8 o'clock, I'm done. I can't think. But then a weird thing happens that I didn't really put on here. I'm like out of it until I go to bed. And then something happens. And for about an hour, Angie, you probably know this from the 11:30 emails that hopefully you don't get till the next morning. Then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I just thought of something. And so I had this moment of like this weird burst and then I'm out. So that's me. A little crazy here. Whew, chaos. Here we go. Productive chaos.
So isn't it fun to just really take a look at who you are as a person and how you like to operate? It's fun to do that. We don't get to do that very often. We really spend most of our time focusing on other people and making their lives easier. But during this series, this is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take a deep look inside of ourselves and find those places in our life where maybe we're fighting against our natural algorithm and it's causing conflicts in us. And it's causing us to not be as confident or even feel like we have the imposter syndrome. So the last piece of this for today has to do with our 4 personal pillars. And our natural algorithm is impacted by our 4 personal pillars. All 4 of these different areas are emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual pillars. If they are like, I like to explain this like 4 tires on the vehicle. And if some of the tires don't have enough air in them, it causes imbalance and it causes the tread to wear a lot more quickly. You can have a flat tire and then you totally crash. I mean, there's a lot of different things that can happen with your tires. And so it's really important if we want to be in alignment with our natural algorithm to make sure that we're managing these pillars. And you see under here that I put the different things that fit under there. So for example, emotion, your emotional pillar, It's about the way that you feel and your feelings and managing the feels, right? It's not just the feelings, but being able to manage those well and to be able to discipline your emotions and allow them to come out properly. Mental, that has to do with our thinking, our processing, all of our cognitive functions, the way that we systematically process things. Our physical pillar, this is one that a lot of us have trouble with. When I'm working with Fit and Focus group, this is a big, you see the stress coming out in the way that women are treating their bodies. And so the physical pillar involves your eating, your movement, physical activity, your overall health, just taking care of yourself physically. And then spiritual has to do with just your presence, your relationship with God, or your spiritual practices. Listening is a part of this as well, and meditation. So I meet a lot of women that they struggle to listen. There's such turmoil and they're in such conflict with their natural algorithm that they just struggle to listen or even to just be still. And so it's time for us to really evaluate, okay, where am I right now in this? How balanced am I in each of these pillars? So real quickly, just if you can do this, you can actually do this on your workbook. Let me pull that back up for you. You should be able to go into your workbook and give yourself a score between 1 and 5 to indicate your level of balance in this group. So 5 means, yes, I am completely balanced in this area, in my emotional pillar. I'm all the way down to 1, which is I have totally lost control. I need significant help in this area. So rate yourself on each of the 4 on a scale of 1 to 5. And let's just do that real quickly. Okay, so there's one other thing that I want you to do. For each one of these pillars, I want you to identify one thing that you need more of and one thing that you need less of. Let's just do this as a whole. You know, if you just look at all 4 of the pillars, just maybe you need more of something in the emotional pillar and you need less of something in the physical pillar. All right. So capture something that you need more of and something that you need less of. Okay, Esther, you look like you're finished. So when you did this, what came out for you?
So I just looked at 2 of the pillars and put like in the physical, I need less of just like random eating, not be like whatever that is, like just being more mind. I guess I need more being mindfulness in what I'm eating and less of the craziness.
Yeah.
But what I need more of in the spiritual side, so that was the one where I said more of.
Mhm.
I need more understanding, and I wrote theology, like basic theology and understanding.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
where I landed.
Great. Okay. So essentially what you did is you identified some goals for yourself to help align more with your natural algorithm. And so that becomes the basis of the work that we do for this series and Reset Mindset. Anyone else want to share what came up for you when you did this?
I can share.
Okay.
So for me, I need less of allowing emotions to dictate my attitude.
Mhm.
And physical, I need more focus on movement.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of times we see these pillars get out of balance, like especially if we've got a lot of things going on emotionally and we're not allowing some of the other pillars to take the brunt of that. So very practical example, if you're feeling highly emotional and you're not moving, you're not doing something physical, you're not working out that toxicity. So these all help each other to balance each other out. So we want to figure out, how do we make these balance? How can we, if we've got an abundance of something in one, how do we balance that out with another pillar? Okay, so our next time that we come together to do this, we're going to go on to, it says day 1. It'll be the day 1. See, I think this might be this may not be the right one, or it might. Okay. But anyway, so you'll have some inventory questions for day 1, and it says for day 2, but just know that when we come back together, we're going to dig into the new set of inventory questions, and we're going to be discussing those. So you're welcome to look ahead if you want and just go ahead and start journaling on that, writing some things down.
So is that inner critics?
Pardon me?
Is that the inner critics section?
This is the day 1. Let's start with who you are. So we've been talking about natural algorithm, but it'll say, oh yeah, I think Cart sent me the wrong one.
Day 1 says natural algorithm, which we went through some of that today.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So basically just go on to the next day to prepare. You don't have to, but I'd advise that you really assign yourself a few minutes sometime during the week to start answering some of the inventory questions. So we did who are you and all that. Here, like the next set of questions will be, who are you not?
Okay.
What's not true about you? What do you never do? And what are deal breakers for you?
Okay.
Yeah, those will be the questions
So we're still in the pink section. I got it. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, and I'm going to go back and make sure that you got the right workbook. Boy, that would suck if you didn't. So, all right, ladies. I know we're a few minutes past. I hope that's okay. How was this for you? Good. It's good to be focused on yourself, right? You deserve some time to just look at your life, and so we're going to carve that time out for you. All right, everybody. Well, I'll let you go. Hope you have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.